Hey everybody, this is Deadite Joe, and we're back for installment number 3. Now today I want to talk about my favorite adaptations of any of the H.P. Lovecraft stories. I hope a lot of you younger guys know who H.P. Lovecraft was. Way ahead of his time. You need to read his stuff. Most of it's available free on the internet because most of his stuff is in the public domain now. But we're going to talk about his movies. Now I've got 10 of my favorites plus one honorable mention. So we're going to get to it, and we're going to go through these things and see what we got. One of these made my list the other day, and of course that's Stuart Gordon's masterpiece, Re-Animator. Dr. Herbert West reanimating dead cell tissue in a very gory fashion. Very inspired by, not exactly like the original short stories, which was published as a series by Lovecraft himself, I believe in the late 20s to 30s. Next one, Bride of Re-Animator. It's a worthy sequel. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's a good movie. Jeffrey Combs as Herbert West again, capturing that foreboding sense that that he has. Okay, the third one, you know what it is. It's Beyond Re-Animator. This one wasn't done by Stuart Gordon. This one was done by Brian Usna. It's an overseas production, but it's still pretty good. It has its dark humor moments. Not the best entry in the series, but pretty good. Jeffrey Combs is back as well as Herbert West. Now we're back to number 4 here, Dagon. Babylonian biblical mention, fish man god. In this case, in the Cthulhu mythos, Lovecraft's story of strangely enough, seaside inbreeding with the elder gods. This one has Ezra Gordon in it. Ezra Godden. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Ezra Godden. Got Gordon on the brain. It's pretty good. This is one of my favorite H.P. Lovecraft adaptations, and again by the master of H.P. Lovecraft adaptations, Stuart Gordon. And yet another Stuart Gordon one. From Beyond, the tale of scientists building a resonator that stimulates the pineal gland, allowing sight into alternate dimensions, which is all around us, filled with crazy creatures and probably the old ones themselves. But this, if you're a body horror type person, you like body horror genre, this is old school, but it's one of the best too. And we're going to keep the streak going by Stuart Gordon's entry into the Masters of Horror series when he adapted H.P. Lovecraft's Dreams in the Witch House. Again, Ezra Godden in it. Fantastic adaptation, closer to the story than most. A good solid entry into that Masters of Horror series, which in my opinion didn't last long enough. It should have lasted longer, but hey, you know, that's our fault as fans. We should have done something. We should have watched. Is what we should have done. Rather, we should have done that. Next one, Stuart Gordon's Castle Freak. Now, there's not an H.P. Lovecraft story called Castle Freak, but it's definitely based upon some H.P. Lovecraft writings like The Unnameable and things like that. It's good. It's got Barbara Crampton in it again, as same as Re-Animator and From Beyond. Can't get enough Barbara Crampton. Woo, she's all right. I like her. But Jeffrey Combs is in this one, not playing Herbert West, but playing another character. That's a good one. It's a good one. Moving on down the list, the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society came out with what was once deemed as unfilmable, which was The Call of Cthulhu. Regardless of how you pronounce it, I know there's a lot of people say Cthulhu or Cthulhu. It doesn't matter. One of the greatest stories that started the entire mythos in H.P. Lovecraft's literature has been well adapted here. Now, and it had to be adapted in such a way that it's done in the style of a motion picture that would have that appears as if it was made in the time of H.P. Lovecraft, which is silent and black and white. But it's used a lot of modern things too. The creators of this has since come out with Whisper in Darkness, and I have not had a chance to purchase that DVD and check it out, but you can bet your bottom dollar I will. If you're a H.P. Lovecraft fan, you can overlook the technical problems they've had with this one and the stop motion and things like that, and go for pure story, and it's actually pretty good. This is one of my favorites. going to the way back now, but we're going to look at the Dunwich horror with Dean Stockwell in it. This is the original. They recently remade it, I think, using Jeffrey Combs, but I can't remember exactly. But it has to do with the releasing of one of the elder gods, and it's got the Necronomicon in it, an H.P. Lovecraft creation. The next is kind of a low-budget one, but it's creepy. It made the rounds at a few of the art houses and a few of the H.P. Lovecraft film festivals. Is Beyond the Wall of Sleep. It's got a couple of stars in it, B grades, but I mean it's decent, but it's, you know, shot half black and white, half color. But it deviates from the original story, but it's okay. It's okay for what it was. And the honorable mention is going to be H.P. Lovecraft's The Shun House. Now, this was a total overseas production, and it mentions several of, it's like an anthology of several of his stories. So that's going to be the 6-minute mark about right now. And that'd be my recommendations if you're an H.P. Lovecraft fan. Read the material. Read it. Go read the material. That's the best source. That's the original source. And buy the book that's got his letters where he wrote back and forth from August Derleth and all his people at the time. A great insight into the man's mind. And get these movies. You can usually find them. But I mean, you can find, these are cheap movies. You know, you can find them, you know, $2 a piece. But it's interesting. You can't beat the Cthulhu mythos as H.P. Lovecraft had written it, and a lot of these stay right with it, and you get the flavor of Lovecraft with a lot of them. But I'll be back with some more. I think we're going to do some 80s monster movies and some zombie stuff, and I have some news on the next one about the filming that's about to start up with The Walking Dead near Sonoy, and some of their the stalwart films in the area, and the Raleigh Studios in Atlanta, which is near Sonoy, are coming back to film season 4. So we're when they start filming on location, our group is going to be there. We're going to be taking photos and videos, lots of fan interactions again. But we got a month or so before they start showing up on location, and we're just start organizing now. But as soon as I have some more news on that front, and I'll be sure to post it. All right, 7 minutes 30 seconds. You've heard me yak long enough. Until next time, later Gators, subscribe and all that stuff, and you know, maybe you can get you a movie or two to watch. See ya.